All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. It's Fred. Okay, so this is part 2 of our Japan trip. I'm going to go ahead and answer about 20 plus questions about this trip that we had in June and July of this year. I think this is the best way to do it because I was trying too hard to go ahead and create a story and so on, make it all flow. It gets complicated, and where is this, where is that, and what really makes sense. And in order for me to do that, to make it make sense for you, is that I've broken up this situation, this experience, into several questions that you may have. So we're going to do it this way. I hope this episode will answer a lot of your questions and also show you what the experience that we had. And maybe you can take those insights I'm going to share with you, and use it to your advantage when you go visit Japan. All right? Okay, so let's start off with number 1. What are the must-see cultural experiences in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka? So in general, what are the must-see experiences, cultural experiences in Japan? Okay, so I would say the shopping, the food, and the way how things work in Japan. Okay, and contrasting it with how things work here in the United States. Now in Tokyo, there are so much things to do in Tokyo. So I picked a couple that I think you should go check out. Is one, the Tsujiki Outer Fish Market. You had to go there. That is the place that we first went, and it's amazing. All the food, all the grilling, all the barbecuing that's happening in the streets. Okay, it's a closed off streets that are closed off from traffic, general traffic. I think a couple streets here and there had cars in it. But you walk through these stalls, these places where they barbecue, they grill, they're making soups, they're making ramen. It's amazing. You get the smells, the sights, all the things that you hear. Now, yes, there's a lot of tourists out there, right? Because it's one of the most popular places to visit in Tokyo. Also, my wife, she's a big tea drinker. I'm a coffee drinker. She's a big coffee drinker, and she was able to get some amazing tea that she loves. And I think she found tea with the help with our guide, and I'm going to talk about our tour guide in a bit. And she was able to get some unique tea that you can be found in Japan, and she's actually loving it right now. It's over 105, 110 degrees here in the Sacramento area, and she's able to brew some cold tea during this time here at home. Another place that's worth checking out in Tokyo is the G6 shopping district, Ginza. In Ginza, it's called G6. So we stumbled upon that place. We noticed that G6 is a very popular place, but we were getting hungry, and we decided to go look for something. But this time we had our son go ahead and find a good place to eat. And he found a big district, this big area called G6. It so happens to be a big, it's a district, but it's also a huge building that has lots of high-end food, high quality, not necessarily high-end food, but high quality food. Okay. What interesting enough is that we actually went to a different building, like a building adjacent or building across the street, and it wasn't the G6. My son chose this one, But you know what? We decided we didn't know that, but we found a shabu shabu restaurant where you cook your food, right? You get you order raw food, raw meats and food, and you cook it in front of you. So we did that. Well, that's an amazing experience. So I do believe in happy accidents that we found this place and did it. And that was our first real meal by ourselves in a Japanese restaurant in Japan. We were like the only tourists, maybe another group, another team had tourists there, but everybody else was local, which is amazing. Okay. We did get to go into G6, the real building with the all these restaurants, all this shopping, amazing stuff happening. My sons and I went there first because my wife, she went to go to the Uniqlo headquarters in Japan and went to go shopping. Spent a couple hours there. I took my boys to the G6 building and we had some coffee. They had a couple of chocolate drinks and so on. And we found a great bookstore there. If you can, I believe it's in the 6th floor of the G6 building. Go there. It's an amazing place. It's a beautiful bookstore. It's huge. You'll see a cafe there, but also you'll see a very, very modern and beautiful Starbucks inside. It's amazing. I think it is Starbucks, right? But it is Starbucks, and there are other coffee shops like Tully's. That's has a huge presence there. Tully's as well. Now, I said my wife is a big tea drinker, and Asia usually is a big tea. Asians drink a lot of tea, but honestly, I've seen a lot of coffee shops, a lot of cafes that I actually tried out also in Japan, all over Japan. So that's an amazing experience. If you are into coffee, go check them out also. Now, and we also went to Shibuya Crossing. That's like the most, I guess 3,000 people. Every time the light changes, it's I think 5 corners, and they all start, when the green light hits, all 5 corners of people, they all cross into the other side. And they say I read about 3,000 people at a time. They would just go and cross. It's like chaos, but it's not. It's very well organized because people know what to do. It's the tourists you gotta watch out for. They're the ones that may cause trouble here and there because they don't know, they're confused, and it's just a sea of people coming at you, right? They're walking, but they're also biking. So they're taking bikes also. And it was really, really cool to be in that moment. And we did it a couple times. It's amazing. We also checked out the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. And what's really cool is that we had a tour guide. And our tour guide, his name Nori, he was recommended by my good friend, Ari, from college, from USF, University of San Francisco. What's up? She knew when I put this on Facebook that we're going to go to Japan, Tokyo, that she hooked me up with Nori to be our tour guide. And this is like a side hustle for him. Actually, it's not a side hustle. I think this is what he does now because there's so many people visiting Tokyo, Japan, that he can sustain his income by being a tour guide. So we had him for about half a day, about 5 hours or so. It costed us about maybe $190 to have him with us. That was our first day, and it was all well worth it because he showed us how to interact, how to walk around, what to look for, notice things. He would point out to landmarks, and honestly, there's a lot of things he did point out to us that it became a blur. Right? We were just getting into. We just got into the country. It was hot and humid. It was crowded. Right? So we were jet lagged. It was just a blur for us. But he did show us many things, like how to get into a train during commute time, And I mentioned in the last episode that I had to protect my son because, he's pretty small, my youngest. And all the people, we tried to push in, like when those sardines, you've seen those videos of Tokyo trains. Well, we were in the middle of that, and we just pushed ourselves, and Nori told us, don't worry about it. You have to be aggressive. So it was expected of us to keep pushing, but we also had to make sure our backpacks were in front of us, not in our wearing them normally in our backs, but put it in front of us. So there's little insights that really helped. He also showed us how Japanese people, when it's humid, and what they drink when it's really hot. And they have something called, I'm going to look it up right now. The drink is called Pocari Sweat. I know, it sounds weird because it has the word sweat in it, but it's basically replenishing what you sweated out. It's like Gatorade, but it's water. So it has it's a little sweet, it's a little salty, but that's basically replacing all the sweat you're losing during the hot, humid days. You buy that, and then you buy a cup of ice. We didn't know this, but they do sell ice in these stores, and then you pour the water, and that's how you drink your cold, refreshing Pocari Sweat. Okay, reminds me of the booty sweat from Tropic Thunder. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Okay, quickly, in Osaka, we also went to the Dotonbori. It's the neon capital of the world. You've probably seen it in a lot of movies. Most recently in John Wick 4, there's a scene when they went to the Osaka Continental Hotel before the Osaka's Dotonbori. The river and the bridge is right there, Dotonbori Bridge. It crosses the river, and you'll see the Glico Man, the famous landmark, neon lights. This place is like a headquarters for neon lights, and there's so many people there. The Glico Man, you'll see it's a running man crossing the finish line, and it is very popular. So many people, so many tourists take pictures of that. So when you go there, make sure you go to Dotonbori's, the Glico Man neon sign. You'll see it. It's an amazing place. That's also, Osaka is known to be the kitchen of Japan. Lots of great food. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. Okay, more about the food later. And then in Kyoto, check out the Nishi Market. It's similar to the Tsujiki Otter Fish Market in Tokyo, but Kyoto is a little more colorful, which is really cool also. And another experience to check it out is the bullet train, or the high-speed rail, JR, Japan's rail. The bullet train is an amazing thing. Also, what's really cool are the Ichiran solo dining experiences. I'll talk that in a bit. And also the convenies. Okay, that's really cool. Convenies is an amazing thing, and I'm glad they had that there when we were there. And I heard that they're going to bring that here in America, hopefully soon. Okay, number 2. Which famous landmarks and historical sites should you visit in the cities in Japan? So in Tokyo, again, it's the outer fish market, Tsujiki Fish Market, should be a crossing, G6. And of course, the Sensoji Temple. That's the oldest temple in Tokyo, I believe. Maybe not Japan, but in Tokyo. It's an amazing thing to see. We were there in the evening, in dusk time. It was really nice. And in Kyoto, we went to the Kyoto's castle, Imperial Castle there, and the colorful Nishi Market. It's really cool. These markets in Kyoto, the markets, it's basically streets, right? Think about these are alleyways connected, and they're covered. These streets are covered. Okay, there's a ceiling over these streets, and the ceiling there, it's all like stained glass. I don't know if it's stained glass or anything like that, but it's similar looking, and it's beautiful. Okay, lots of great food everywhere you turn around. And again, going back to Osaka, the Dotonbori Bridge, the Glico Man. When you go to Osaka, the Dotonbori bridge. Try to go there during the nighttime because of the neon lights. Okay, because of the neon lights, it's amazing. Also, Don Quixote. Don Quixote is pretty popular there. It's a building, okay, so that may be 6, 7, 8 floors up. And we went to a couple. You found them in Tokyo, you found them in Osaka. And basically it's like, think Walmart, but it's squeezed into a building with all the lights, with all the colors known to man, and all the music. It's basically, you're gonna get sensory overload. Okay, but they have everything, and you will find the world famous Kit Kat, all the different kinds of Kit Kat. I read that there was supposed to be about 300-ish varieties of Kit Kat. So from green tea to matcha to dark chocolate to orange to peaches, all these amazing flavors. So that is something to check out. Number 3, what are the best local dishes in each city? So at least, okay, sushi and ramen, that goes without. Okay, you have to go and try that there. Sushi, ramen, udon, tonkatsu. Okay, they're all good food. Now, Japan is second only to France, that they have the second most Michelin star restaurants in the world, right behind France. Okay, and there are maybe within just a dozen from each other, so about hundreds. We're talking about hundreds of Michelin star restaurants. Now the thing is, the quality of the food is really high in that country because there's so many Michelin star restaurants that the level of detail, the level of being intentional with the meals, it's in their culture. It's in them. So they really, really are emphasizing the quality of food. So basically, if you go to any restaurant there, okay, you're going to enjoy it. You will enjoy it. It's high quality. There are restaurants in train stations, because these train stations are effectively mini cities. They're city underground cities. Okay. Okay. You had to feed. Okay. If you were in charge of, just say Tokyo, if you're in charge of Tokyo, and you had 37 million people in the city, the most populous city in the world, 37 million people, and you have to feed them. They had to eat. How would you make sure that these people have access to food? Yes, we have the surface area, right? The street area, street level food, perfect. Buildings, of course, but also underground. Why underground? It's because the trains are there, and that's the number one way how people travel. At least in Tokyo, Osaka, and in the major cities of Japan, Kyoto, and I'm sure the other ones as well. That's why they can get their food. They can get high-end food, or they can go mid-level, or even vending machine food. Okay? And there's a lot of food also in these convenies. And the convenies I'm talking about are convenience stores. 7-Eleven, Lawson, Family Mart. Amazing food. Okay? The 7-Eleven food, it's great. It saved us so much. It saved our souls, it saved our stomachs, and it saved our wallets. Okay? You need to try out the egg sandwich. Okay? Egg sandwiches. 7-Eleven or Lawson's or Family Mart. Maybe I think 7-Eleven is a little bit better. Not sure. That's just the way it is. I suggest you try it out. Okay? And then the nigiri, the triangle nigiris, I think they're called. But those are amazing things. They're making sure it's wrapped really well, and when you unwrap it, it's making sure that it's been packaged in a way that the seaweed doesn't get moist, doesn't touch the rice and the fish, so it doesn't get soggy. So it's an amazing design there. So check those out. Also in Kyoto, check out the Okonomiyaki savory pancakes, and their famous takoyaki, the octopus balls. Really, really good. Check out, if you can, find these fluffy pancakes. We waited an hour for this, and it's all well worth it. Fluffy pancakes in Osaka. You can find it all over Japan, but in Osaka, it was originated there. And Italian food in Osaka. The Italian food, we wanted something else to try, to change our palates a bit. The Italian food we went, it's really, really good. It's higher end, and usually I think that would cost about, for a family of four, about maybe $150 here in America. We paid about $70, right? That included at least a bottle of wine, really good wine also. So if you want to know which one we went to, Sante Angelo's Italian food in Osaka. Also, Crafty Burgers in Kyoto. We wanted something different again at that time. You walk in, it's like an American bar, American burger place. So it was great. American sports on the TV. Oh, it's actually Japanese baseball, but they showed MLB, Major League Baseball as well. Lots of Americans in there. Even the bartenders and the barbacks and the waiters, they're all speaking perfect English. So we felt like at home. It's great. What top neighborhoods to explore in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka? In Tokyo, check out Shibuya and Asakusa or Asakusa. We stayed there. That's where we stayed. Okay. And Kyoto and Osaka, I guess it's the Dotonbori, but it's more shopping. Okay. So check those out. I'm sure there's a lot of other places as well. Now, number 5, how can you experience traditional culture in Tokyo and so on? Now, we didn't participate in any traditional Japanese culture events, like the tea ceremony. We didn't do that. I think what we decided is to really have a private tour guide, for 4 hours with Nori. We spent about $162. That's about $25,000 yen. And at that time, exchange rate was $161 per yen. So it was all well worth it. Okay, because he did point out things, historical artifacts and buildings, and how people and what people did back in the day, and really cool things. He taught us how to read the map. We watch a lot of YouTube videos, but he showed us, well, this is the way we do it here, do this. He showed us a little pattern, and how to board trains properly, how to clean up after ourselves, because there are no trash cans in the cities. You gotta make sure you put it in your backpack, your little bag you have. And he took us to these great places to eat, at least bite-sized. So you can taste the wagyu, you could taste the Kobe, you could taste the nigiri, the sushi, the sashimi. Amazing. Now, number 6. What are the best tips for navigating public transportation? Okay. Google Maps. Okay, you need that app. Google Maps for real-time navigation. That helps a lot. That's where Google Maps really shined. Okay, amazing place. I use Apple Maps here. We're here in California, in America. It's pretty good now. But Google Maps, amazing there. Perfect. Okay. Shows the real time, where to walk to, which train, and so on. Amazing. The trains and buses, my goodness, it's so well ran to move. I'm talking about Tokyo, just the Tokyo, okay? To move 37 million people around and get them where they need to go. I think we had one train that was behind about 25 seconds. Seconds. 25 seconds. It was late. See, it's mind-boggling. You know? It's mind-boggling. So we had a Suica card or Pasmo card. We had it in our phones. My wife and I, we had it in our phones, in our Apple Wallet. We did that. Our sons, they had the physical cards, the Pasmo or Suica card. I think the Pasmo cards. So we put in money there, and they're able to use that. That was a great thing to see how my sons were able to ride a train. Also, they don't really ride trains here in Sacramento area or buses. So it's nice to see how they learn how to do that, how to balance themselves, how things work. You put in the ticket, comes out the other side, you have to pull it out. That's an amazing part. Also, Uber is a great app to have. Google for any rides that when you got really tired of walking in the heat and tired of walking in the subways. Uber rides. Uber is a great place. Or great app, to get to place. Google Translate, obviously. Google Lens, that's part of the Google Translate as well. I'm also using Gemini AI and also ChatGPT, so I'm using those as well. We use our Chase preferred credit card that helped us so we can build points. And also, what's amazing with the transportation, you can't eat in the buses and trains except on the high-speed rail. You can. The bullet trains, you can eat inside. That's fine. More in a bit about that and how quiet it is in the train. It was amazing. We had to whisper. We were conscious about that, so that's important. Okay, number 7. Shopping, best shopping spots. I already mentioned that. The markets, Ginza, G6, Don Quixote. Number 8, what hidden gems should you visit among the cities? Like I mentioned, just those things earlier. But also, check out, if you can, in Tokyo, in the Ginza district, okay? Or, in the Shinjuku district, the Godzilla Hotel. You gotta check that out. Shinjuku's Godzilla Gracery Hotel, that's the name of it. It's also the home at nighttime. It becomes the biggest red light district in Tokyo. Obviously, we didn't stay around for that. Hey, real quick, Fred here. Okay, so my mic, it's brand new, and my mixer is brand new, and I'm still learning how all this works. I upgraded to 2024 technology. All right, so my recording got cut off in half. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to make another part, a part 3, from questions number 11 to 20. And that will be a different episode. Sorry about that, guys. I hope you understand. Okay, I'll see you on the other side.